Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of 20s on Trending. I'm Dan, and I'm joined with Olivia and Deeraiya, and we're just going to be recapping all of the trending topics of the week. So I guess let's get right into it. I think in terms of current events, one of the major things that happened this week was the US launched an airstrike on Syria. Now, I personally don't know a ton about this, but I think you guys do, right?
Um, I feel like we don't know that much also because they didn't release that much information. But if Olivia would like to outline what essentially happened.
So I did a little research on this topic. Again, I want to preface that I don't know much. Um, but yeah, what we do know is that our country sent airstrikes into Syria, but it wasn't to hit Syria or to attack Syria. The airstrikes were based off Iran backed militias that were in Syria. Um, and this is all due to the fact that these militias targeted American troops a couple weeks ago in Iraq. So it's a lot of pieces that are all coming together. Like what Deeraiya said, we don't know much because the country isn't saying much. The Biden administration or the Pentagon, they're not saying much. But also, I am not following the news as much as I used to. Um, yeah,
It
Deeraiya, if you want to
just
talk a little.
it seems like a bad thing to do. And I feel like everyone, I did not, but I feel like many people were like, oh, he's not gonna be that way. But then he was like every other president. So I feel like, I don't think a lot of people are surprised. And if you're surprised, like, ask yourself why. Um Anyways, yeah, in conclusion, if Bernie Sanders was president, then that would not have happened.
Hot take there.
Hot take. Another interesting thing that happened this week, or maybe not interesting, but it's kind of been common for a little while now, was that the state of New Jersey in America legalized marijuana this week.
Which,
Um,
as Jerseyans, we are proud of our state.
yeah, we voted in a referendum back in November in the 2020 election. That was one of the things for a referendum for us. And the state of New Jersey decided as a whole to go forward with the legalization of marijuana. Another thing that happened this week was that Hyatt Hotels in Florida decided to house, I believe, what was it, like a conservative convention or something like that?
Yeah, it was in Florida, and they released a statement that was like, we did this because blah blah blah, we like being inclusive and letting people like have the freedom to speak whatever they want, and we're not gonna like hold people back. So like, fine, like, let's assume for a second that that is okay, even though like they're enabling neo-Nazis. But let's just assume for a second that that's fine. Why would you allow these hundreds of people to enter your hotel without a mask and endanger your entire staff? That just seems bad.
So yeah, I'm pretty upset with how like the whole Republican Party now seems to be tight with Trump again. I read that Mitch McConnell now is going to support Trump if he runs in 2024, which is outrageous. Um, I I think it's incredibly cowardly to go back on everything you said um, for this man who's terrible for many reasons.
Moving into some science news from the week. Yesterday on Saturday, Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine was given emergency use authorization from the FDA. Now, this is kind of or very good for not only Americans but for really the entire world because it's probably the third and safe and effective vaccine other than the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines that's kind of being distributed right now. And it's also kind of nice because it's the first single dose COVID-19 vaccine. So, like with the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, you normally have to get one dose, then come back in like 3 to 4 weeks and get your second dose. But the Johnson & Johnson one is only one dose. So that's cool.
Yeah, I heard for this vaccine in particular, they're going to try to target like the homeless population and people who um, might not normally go to hospitals really, schedule things like this, because they're going to be able to have one dose versus having to come back for the second one, which is going to be awesome because this is going to also just open up the other vaccines for more people as well, as we're just adding more vaccines to the supply.
So our next topic is Lady Gaga, whose dog walker, oh my God, it's like bad. Her dog walker was walking her dogs and then he got shot and then people stole 2 out of 3 of her dogs. But like that's so crazy and a bad thing to do. But luckily, fortunately, they were both recovered either today or yesterday or Friday. Today, I don't know the day.
And also the dog walker is alive, which I think is an important point to make.
Mm-hmm.
They were shot, but recovering.
I saw a lot of people kind of questioning online if like this was targeted because it was Lady Gaga or it was just kind of a freak accident and like they were just targeting any person walking their dogs. Like, what do you
Well,
guys think?
it was an accident.
Well, yeah. If it was a freak coincidence that it was Lady
Yeah.
Gaga.
I don't know. I feel like if you're driving through a neighborhood and you shoot a dog walker, like that must be premeditated, but also I don't know. Obviously I don't know.
Yeah.
But what if you shoot the dog walker and like I feel like you must have done some research. And also what were their intentions with the dogs? Were they trying to sell them and make money? Were they trying to like do something bad? Were they trying to breed them? Like what's going on?
Yeah, I'm thinking they probably the shooter probably knew this was Lady Gaga's dog walker and dogs. Cause yeah, like why else would you take these dogs? Um, I mean, at least the way I'm reading it, it seems like, oh, it's a famous person's pet. I want it, type of thing.
Mm-hmm. I guess like I'm sure they're gonna do like a whole investigation on all this. It probably won't be made too public, but I'm sure there will be a whole thing going on. And I'm just glad that that the dog walker's okay, and then also that the 2 dogs are okay.
I agree.
We don't support that.
No, we don't support shooting people and taking other people's pets.
Correct.
I don't know how to segue into this, but I think it would be fun if we could all play a quick game. For those of you who are listening now, the day this comes out, the Golden Globes are going to be happening, but we are in the past. We are recording this before the Golden Globes. So I was doing a little research about who was nominated and whatnot. I really didn't know many of the films and TV shows. So I thought it would be fun if all of us who are really ignorant about all of these um, productions, these actors and whatnot, if we wanted to just predict what's going to happen tomorrow. Um, so yeah, guys, I have a couple of the categories already on my phone, and we're just going to decide who's going to win, and we're going to see what happens next week.
How
Alright.
exciting.
Yeah.
Okay. The first category I have: Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy. First, we have Borat, subsequent movie film.
Okay.
2, we have Hamilton,
Huh?
which is the recorded version of the show.
Oh, the one that came on like Disney Plus, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
3, we have something called Music, which I've never heard of in my life.
That one better not win. That's
Oh,
the
okay.
Is that the Sia
that's
one?
the autism one.
Oh. Okay. 4, we have Palm Springs. And 5, we have The Prom.
Oh.
Okay. I did not see The Prom, but from what I understand, Meryl Streep did a good job and everyone like did not like James Corden's thing.
Yeah.
I saw The Prom.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that I think people didn't like James Corden just because it was a straight man trying to portray a gay man. But from like a perspective of just a movie watcher, I guess, I thought that the performance itself was fine. I see how some people maybe like found offense in that,
Mm-hmm.
but I thought that the movie itself and his performance was fine. Maybe that's a hot take, but
Yeah, I know a couple people who were offended by it, others who really enjoyed it. As a non-gay person, I feel like I don't really have a right to have a complete opinion on this.
Mhm.
Um, but
Okay, I think that music should not win and will not win because everyone is mad at Sia for not
Mhm.
casting an actual autistic person and also for working with Autism Speaks, which is apparently like a bad organization.
oh, I didn't know
From
that.
yeah, from what
Also, I
I've
think
read.
I'm not sure how Golden Globe voting works, but even if like that movie was supposed to win, I feel like because of all the backlash, they would have kind of gone back and given it to second place.
Yeah, I also how good can it be if Maddie's in it? No, like I don't know. Um,
Um,
anyways, what was the other ones? Oh, Borat could win. That would be fun.
Yeah, because that's like partial improv. I mean,
mhm.
you could clearly tell this is COVID times with all these
Yeah.
selections. There
I mean,
really aren't many.
I never saw the Hamilton recording, so I'm not
Hmm.
sure if they're judging it off of the content or kind of the recording it, because I feel like Hamilton already
Yeah.
made it big, you know?
No, but that's a good point actually. Is this about like the story and the performances, or is it about like the filming of
Because
it?
if
Or
it's about the story, then I would probably give it to Hamilton, just because
hmm
that everyone loved that years ago when it came out.
Wait, what's the fifth one? The
The prom,
prom?
and
No,
Palm
prom.
Palm
Springs.
Oh,
Springs.
I don't know what that is, so
I
That
I
don't
was
don't
the
know it.
know.
one with
Oh, Lonely Island.
from
It says
yeah, that was the one with the guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
That means
the
nothing to
guy
me.
Andy
Andy
Samberg.
Samberg.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, maybe it'll
I heard
win,
it
but
was
I don't
good.
know what it is.
It was on
Yeah,
Hulu, I
I have
think.
no idea.
Okay,
Um,
I'm gonna go. My guess is gonna be Hamilton.
I think I'll do Hamilton too.
I also think Hamilton, but I've never seen it and I don't really care for it, but I want it to be Borat.
Cool.
Cool. All in agreement. Next.
Okay. Next category is Best Performance by an Actress in a Supporting Role in Any Motion Picture. Okay. First, and I like to also preface to everyone, I don't know any of these movies, but I know the actresses. First, we have Glenn Close in Hillbilly Elegy. Uh, Second, we have Olivia Colman in The Father. Then we have Jodie Foster in The Mauritanian. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Fourth, we have Amanda Seyfried in Mank. And fifth, we have Helena Zengel, News of the World. So yeah, what do you guys think?
I honestly don't know any. Like, I know some of their names, but I can't picture any of them. And like
Amanda
Olivia said,
Seyfried, you
I'm
know
very
her.
ignorant when it comes to Hollywood.
You know, I really like Olivia Colman and
Mm-hmm.
she seems to win a lot of things and
Yeah.
I've been a fan of her. So I'm going to say she wins.
Also, I agree. Olivia's been winning a lot lately, but Glenn Close and Jodie Foster are also very big names in Hollywood. Um,
I'm gonna give it to Jodie Foster. I don't know. I'm feeling it.
um, I guess to spice it up, I'll pick Glenn Close then.
It's probably gonna be one of the other two.
Yeah, Zangle, who I've never heard of. I apologize. Uh,
Cool.
okay, fourth, and this is gonna be a fun one for me to all pronounce. We have the best original score from a motion picture. We have Alexandre Desplat, The Midnight Sun, Ludwig Göransson, Tenet, James Newton Howard, News of the World, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, Mank, and also Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, and John Batiste, I apologize, in Soul. So I saw two of these movies.
I think it's John Baptiste from Stephen Colbert.
Uh,
I think without knowing the people, I think I'm gonna give it to Soul.
Oh wait, I meant like it's pronounced John Baptiste. I didn't mean that he's my selection. To be honest, I have not seen any of these movies and I kind of don't care, but I agree with Dan. So probably Soul or Tenet cuz that was a Christopher Nolan movie,
I saw
right? So like
Tenet.
we're supposed to care about that one, so I think it's that
Whoa.
one.
Well, yeah, I saw Tenet, and I guess I also saw Soul. What I found interesting actually was Soul did not have a nomination for Best Original Song, which I find weird for like Disney Pixar movies. I feel like they
Okay,
always
then
are.
I'm taking it. My guess is now off of Soul and it's to
No,
Tenet.
no, you can still go with
Wait,
that.
I have a question. Is Soul an animated movie?
Yes.
Yes.
Then I'm giving it to Tenet.
I'm
I
also
don't
giving it
I
to
don't
Tenet.
like animated movies.
Oh. Well,
I
But
just
I
don't
like
think
John I like John Baptiste, so I hope he gets something, but I don't like
listen to the
animated
music in Soul.
movies.
It's actually pretty good. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Tenet. I mean, kind of what Deeraiya said, Christopher Nolan movies have
Mhm.
like a high what am I trying to say?
like a high caliber like
Yeah.
I also feel
I
I think that the Golden Globes too are voted on by critics, not necessarily by the people, and I feel like critics
interesting.
like kind of those well-known people.
Um, hmm, good point. I was just thinking, I remember I really liked Interstellar, and that was Hans Zimmer, and I love Hans Zimmer. And if he has Hans Zimmer to do one of them, I bet the other ones have some pretty good composers. So yeah, I'll say Tenet too. So all three of us are for Tenet right now, I believe.
Wow.
Okay, and this is my last category that I picked, which was Best Television Series, Drama. We have The Crown, Lovecraft Country, The Mandalorian, Ozark, and Ratchet.
I think that hmm, and I'm thinking it would be between The Crown and Lovecraft Country, but I'm leaning towards The Crown.
You know, I haven't seen any of these, and I feel like a lot of people like The Mandalorian, so I feel like it's that. And The Crown has already won so many things. It doesn't sit right with me. Ratchet is the one with what's her
Sarah
name?
Sarah
Paulson.
Paulson.
Yeah, I like her, but I don't know. I think everyone around me really liked The Mandalorian. So I think maybe that one.
I think it ultimately comes down to that thing of if it's voted on by the people or the critics.
hmm
I think if it was by the people, The Mandalorian would win by a lot. But if it's critics, then I don't know if it would win. Because I don't know if it's like critically acclaimed or if it's just loved by fans.
Yeah, so I'm one of the fans who actually really loves The Mandalorian. I don't think it's gonna win this category though.
Then I take it back.
No, that's just my opinion.
No, because I've never seen it. So how
I
can
think
I
it's so
know?
well made, and the acting is really well done. Um, but I just feel like this isn't the type of category that it would win in. Like it's, I don't know. In a way, I feel like it's too mainstream.
Does
I,
anyone know? Sorry, you
yeah.
continue.
Oh, I'm just saying my guess is Ozark for no reason other than I think it won something one year.
Does anyone know what Lovecraft Country is?
So it says it's on HBO.
Oh, then it might win because they're good.
Yeah, it
Except Bill
also says
Maher.
one of the companies is Bad Robot, which I know is the same group that did Lost. Yeah,
Ew.
I don't know anything about it though.
You know
Interesting.
what? I'm gonna go back to The Crown. I don't care.
Okay.
Okay. So Deeraiya and I were The Crown, and then Olivia was Ozark.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. So this is the end of the game.
Yeah,
That
and I
was
guess
fun.
Yeah, we're
we'll
gonna
see
see
next
next
week
week. Yeah.
who was right.
Yeah, again, we know nothing about any of these stuff, but I think it's fun to just speculate.
hmm
And next week we'll have something to talk about then.
A show though that we do know a little bit about, and
Ooh,
I guess just
a
a good way to
show
kind of
we
close
love.
out that this episode would be let's just talk about WandaVision episode 8 for a little bit.
Yeah, let's just go
Previously
into it.
on. So
Previously
if you
on
listened to
WandaVision.
our episode last week, Deeraiya doesn't know a ton about Marvel or WandaVision as a whole, but she's here. Definitely ask questions if you're confused, because if you're confused, I'm sure other people are confused.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, so Olivia, let's just get right into it. What do you think of this
Wait,
week's
you should
episode?
say spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So if you thank you, Deeraiya.
I'm here
So
for
if
some
you have
reason.
not watched WandaVision episode 8 or WandaVision as a whole and you don't want anything spoiled, stop now. We'll see you next week where we talk about more trending events. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
But if you are here to listen to our fun little discussion, I guess we'll start now. So, Olivia, what do you think of the episode?
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. It was definitely an episode that's giving us information where a lot of the other episodes, I mean, obviously this one too, um, they just were kind of, I mean, creating more questions. This one
Mhm.
definitely answered a lot of theories people had from the very beginning, including like, oh, maybe this world is like TV shows that Wanda grew up watching, which turned out to be true.
Yeah.
And yeah, I loved going back and seeing the beginning of her story and then back into other movies we've seen before, just more information.
Hmm.
Um,
I thought that it
y-
was a
yeah,
really great time for character development for her
yes,
character because I feel like she's been in the MCU for a little bit now, but I feel like this episode specifically was the first time we really got an in-depth
hmm
look at like what's happened to her.
because while like by Infinity War, we know that she has a relationship with Vision that's really intense, right? But we don't
Hmm.
know much about them, honestly. Um, so like you were saying, like I appreciate being able to like kind of understand her character, especially as it seems like she's going to be a big character in the MCU coming up.
Hmm.
I think she's awesome. I love what they're doing with it. Um, yeah, I feel like there's so much to talk about, and I don't know where to start.
Hmm. I did like and appreciate the fact because a lot of people, and I think a lot of the theories up until this episode were like, oh, like Mephisto got her to do it.
hmm
Agatha tricked her into doing it. And I really did appreciate the fact that A, we got a whole sequence showing it, but the fact
Yeah.
that this entire reality just came out of her grief and this was kind of like her own doing in a way.
Yes. I also, on that point, find it really cool. I don't know if it's interesting is a better word, whatever, that she did not kidnap Vision's body like we were
Mm,
told
oh
by
yeah, yeah,
Hayward
yeah.
and kind of what we just assumed from the
Hmm.
very beginning. Um, that is a completely separate thing. She manifested Vision's soul.
Hmm.
Is she from the Mind Stone, her
Well,
powers?
we find out this week that she was a witch the whole time, and the
Yeah,
Mind Stone just kind
that's
of
another thing.
amplified her powers, I think.
Yeah.
Wait,
Uh-huh.
she's a witch?
She had magic from the very beginning, we
Like
find
from when
out.
she was born. Yeah.
She
So
was doing
like
magic.
is that
Probability.
like she's Doctor Strange
No.
because he had a car accident but she was born?
Well, I think that Marvel will definitely have to explore this more because Fox
Mm-hmm.
owned a lot of the rights to mutants and like people being born with powers. But now that Marvel bought out Fox and all of those characters and all those storylines, they can kind of backtrack a little bit and explore kind of characters who may have been born with powers from the beginning. Because up until this episode, really, we all thought that Scarlet or Wanda Maximoff got her powers from solely
Yeah.
the Mind Stone. But we find out in this episode that she had powers her whole life. The Mind Stone just kind of amplified her powers and brought her into her being that we know her as now.
Yeah, and on top of that, we also find out that witches are a canonical thing
Hmm.
in the MCU. With Agatha being from the Salem witch trial
Hmm.
um, in the 1600s. So I don't know if that's connected to this whole mutant idea, if that is what they're going for.
I thought it
Um,
was a fun little twist in the beginning, how it's
yeah,
like you see Agatha being like brought to a stake, but then it's not like townspeople, it's other witches who are trying to get rid
yeah,
of her because she's practicing like dark magic.
I agree.
Yeah.
Uh,
What
but
else
That's
yeah,
kind
happened
of
this
like,
episode?
but isn't that like in Coven when they were like, we're witches because of the Salem witch trials?
I've
I
never
think
seen that.
I've seen it. I think so. Again, two completely separate universes.
Yeah, but
But
then so what does Marvel have to say about Coven?
Um, kind of moving away from that comment. I think there were really amazing quotes this episode.
Hmm.
Um,
What is grief if not love
oh
persevering?
my god, Paul Bettany, I love you. I
Olivia
if I
loves
did
you.
if I didn't say that before, oh my god, when Vision said that, it was like so.
I
Oh,
saw
and
people
then
on Twitter being
yeah,
like, oh, all the people who are gonna go get this tattooed now.
Well, I wouldn't do that, but I think it's a beautiful quote.
And I feel
Um,
like everyone can kind of apply it because I'm sure
yeah,
everyone has had like a loved one they've lost or something like that. And honestly, like I know like at least for me, like that did resonate a little bit more.
I think yeah, it's just like a great idea too.
Mhm.
Kind of to make reason of the pain you feel. Um,
Also, the
also,
cinematography in this episode was
yeah,
magnificent.
I love watching TV now for cinematography. Ever since my one cinema class in college, I feel like I get it now.
She gets
I'm
it.
kind of joking, yeah, but I do love it, and yeah, it was so pretty,
Hmm.
and like, oh, there's so many different things I want to talk about.
Oh, and the post-credit scene.
The post-credit
Yeah.
scene,
So we find out that Hayward's been building his own sentient weapon of what people are referring to as white vision.
yeah.
Who is Hayward? And that sounds kind of racist.
Hayward is the acting director of Sword, which is the sister agency of Shield, if you know, like Agents of Shield
Yeah.
and like the MCU, things like that. And White Vision is basically Vision, Paul Bettany's character, who's traditionally red as we know him, but it's a all white, like complete, like not like white skin toned, but like literally like the color white. His entire body and skin and everything is the color white.
See, that part I didn't really get because he had the pieces still like with their color on them when he was.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know why the color changed.
I don't know, but I did see a lot of people because Paul Bettany teased that there would be like there was an
Hmm.
actor in the last episode that he always wanted to work with and things like that. And I see a lot of people being like, "Has he been trolling us?" And he was just going to be filming with himself of Vision fighting White Vision.
Yeah, I saw that too. I kind of hope that's not true, but
Hmm.
that would be funny.
Well, I guess next week then we'll be able to talk all about it because
Next week's gonna be big.
the
Yeah.
series finale is next week or season finale, but probably the whole series. But I can't see them making a second season.
No, I don't either. But another just quick point I want to make. Um, I guess for those of you who are listening who don't know the show, I don't know why you're listening still, but for a quick summary, this episode, it kind of just went back into Wanda's past. So we're revisiting all these different scenes from her life. Um, and because of that, I think it gave us so much information we want and um, that's valuable, but we kind of didn't have much plot wise go on with
Hmm.
what was carrying on before. So at the very end of the episode where we
Oh
see
yeah,
the
yeah,
twins,
yes, yes, yes.
are being like suffocated by Agatha. Like I am really intrigued to hear what's going to go on with that plot.
Hmm. But we
Um,
also hear Agatha say at the very end of the episode that the magic that Wanda's been using
yes.
is
Oh my God. How can we forget
yeah.
this?
I thought that's what you were going for.
Sorry, guys.
But so we find out at the end of the episode because Agatha has been bringing Wanda back through memory lane to kind of figure out how Wanda was able to create this whole false
Hmm.
reality. And after we go through the past all the way up to the present, Agatha disappears. Wanda runs out of her house. She hears her children screaming. Agatha's suffocating her children with these kind of, I don't want to call them leashes, but like
Yeah,
magical
like
leashes.
magically.
Yeah. And
Um,
Agatha talks about how Wanda's been using chaos magic this whole time, which means that she is the Scarlet Witch.
and this is the first time that name has been said in the MCU.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is this like a thing in the comics?
No.
That, yeah,
In the
okay,
comics, she was always the Scarlet Witch,
yeah,
I think.
that's what I thought. So I think this is cool. I
I
don't
think
know
it's
what it
cool
means.
too. Because I
I
think it's a
wonder.
thing. Sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, I wonder if this is like the same thing as the Nexus, or if these are supposed to be two separate entities.
Well, I saw a thing that Scarlet Witch is a Nexus being, meaning
Okay,
that in every reality, one Scarlet Witch exists. And in this reality, just happens to be Wanda Maximoff.
very cool.
What is a nexus being?
I believe a Nexus being is when there's one version of that being in each reality. So, like, Iron Man would not be a Nexus being because there's only an Iron Man in this one reality in the multiverse that exists. However, there is a Scarlet Witch in every reality of the multiverse.
Another thing about the Nexus is that they're able to like connect to all realities. For those of you who listened last week, we talked a little bit about it, I think, because that was what the commercial was about. But the Nexus, I think, is kind of going to be important moving forward because we know that the Doctor Strange movie is going to be about the multiverse, and if the Nexus is able to connect all the separate universes, that's where I think Wanda's going to come in to be important.
Honestly,
I think she'll somehow open it.
Next week, I might just say, let's do a separate episode just talking about WandaVision as a whole. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But it's the finale.
I'm expecting a lot to happen.
Yeah. Oh, quick thing before we wrap up. They announced the third Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
Coming out Christmas. I'm excited.
I thought it was fun how all the 3 actors all gave fake names.
Yeah. Because I thought that Spider-Man Phone Home was the name until then I saw Spider-Man Home Slice and Spider-Man Home Wrecker.
Anyway.
Yeah, I think that about wraps it up for the day. So thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode of 20s on Trending. Like I said, maybe next week we'll have a completely separate WandaVision episode. But if you're not interested in WandaVision, definitely come back next Sunday. We'll have another episode talking about all of the trending topics. Thank you, Deeraiya and Olivia, for being on today, and we'll see you all next time. Thanks, guys. Thank you for watching this episode of 20s on Trending. Be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all of our new releases. New episodes of 20s on Trending will be available every Sunday. Also be sure to check out other content from I Feel Like Learning, as well as all the other I Feel Like productions. Until next time, keep asking questions, keep staying informed, and keep on learning.